further ado, I'm going to hand you over to the RMT branch secretary, Lewis Norton, to open the debate.
Hello gentlemen and ladies and friends. I can't really add too much to what my chairman and my colleague has said, but I will just thank the House, honourable friends of the House, Sir Graham Morris and John McDonald, who's not here at the moment, for their attendance and taking this forward and for raising this motion. So I'm not going to bore you with a history of the cab trade. I'm not going to echo too much what Mick says, but I think it's important because today is an important step in the taxi trade. This is the first step we've ever had for truly future-proofing our trade. We are the gold standard across the world and the envy across the world because we have a right to apply for hire, and the fact that individuals choose this job as a vocation. It's not an entry job, it's a vocation. It increases social mobility and it improves life chances of those who attain the knowledge of London and do the job. For the last 400 years, we've had the exclusive privilege and right to apply for hire, of which the last 150, you had to obtain the knowledge of London to get that. That was the barrier of entry. You know, as I've said, it's a gold standard and it's a vocation. The last century of the 20th century, let's say from 1900 to 1998, culminating in our 1998 Private London Vehicles Act. All case law and all reports into our trade have said the fundamental difference between taxis and private hire is applying for hire. We can go through all the reports, the 39 Hindley report, the 62 Home Office report, the 1970 Maxwell Stamp report. They went as far to say exhibition of availability is what would define applying for hire. With all our prominent case law, Cogley versus Sherwood, Gilbert versus Mackay, and also Hunt versus Morgan, all referring to applying for hire, and not one of them saying we should have it defined. The closest we come to it was Judge Donovan in Cogley versus Sherwood, who said, and I quote, "Applying for hire is not in statute and no comprehensive reference can be found in case law." That is why today we must seek a legal statutory definition. Without it, and with the advent of technology, we are coming ever so close to what private hire and what taxis can do. You can put a Rizzler paper between us nowadays. With the advent of smartphone technology, I was working the King's Road the other day for those who work in London, and a lady ran out in the road like that with her hand up. I went to pull over, no, she had a smartphone, and she was looking for a Prius. Now that's how close we have become, and there's no lines between it. And that is why today we must secure the definition of applying for hire. Now, this trade over the last 5 years, 6 years, since the inception of Transport for London, let's be honest, we've given Transport for London a fair old kicking, haven't we? And it's culminated in the GLA rendering them woefully inadequate. And look, I don't need to bore you with how awful TfL are or how we perceive it to be awful, but let's be honest, let's be absolutely honest. Boris Johnson, Peter Hendy, Leon Daniels, in their defence, which I say with gritted teeth, they have said that they cannot do anything without primary legislative change. So let's work with Transport for London. Let's tell them, you want primary legislative change? You want definitions? We'll give you definitions. We'll define applying for hire. We'll make your job easier. And if you don't enforce the law, you've got no wiggle room and we can hold them to task. Because remember, the Licensing Authority did say in their Law Commission submission that any blurring of the distinction between private hire and taxis would render the investment individuals make for the knowledge of London worthless. And we would have, by de facto, a one-tier system. That's not what I want. That's not what our friends in the private hire industry and the G&B representatives they want. We want clear demarcations and lines. And that is why the RMT has lobbied for over 18 months and 2 years to work with trade organisations from, as the chairman said, the LCDC, the LTDA, our friends in Unite, G&B, UCG, and even our airport representatives that had to. We believe this is intrinsic to our future-proofing and we must have it. And any change to the law has to come from primary legislation, and today is the first step. For 70 years, every recommendation made, as I've said, has said we need a definition. So I ask you today to take this forward, take it back to constituencies, take it back to your branches, take it back to all your trade organisations, and let's get to a definition of applying for hire, and let's not deregulate it. Thank you very much.